Good morning, subscribers. Welcome to the JOSA Online Academy channel. Thank you for your patience. Now we're going to be going through the January 2014 paper one question. Not sure how many questions I'll be able to do this morning, but of course, I'll try to go through it with you. You might be wondering why am I starting with the paper one instead of a paper two? Well, normally paper one, of course, generally covers the entire syllabus and it gives you an idea where you're at in your preparation. And also we or I encourage you to look in our description and you will see our website address and you're being encouraged to go to the website to send a message to us and tell us the topics that you wish, you need help with in preparing for this exam. Then we will do one of the sessions. I will do one of the sessions in that regard. Of course, um, we are planning and preparing for our marathon session for this year. Hopefully, we can continue our 100% performance in the year of mathematics and help more students to, get the best result that they desire and they have worked for and prepared to get. And nothing is better than a grade one. Agree? All right, so we're going to be going through some paper two question. This live session will not be a long one. So we might have to break up that paper one session in various parts, maybe 2 or 3 parts. Let's see how far we can get into that. So I am Ronnie Bernard, the director for CDP Language Services, which of course is one of the participating schools in Jamaica, in JOSA Online Academy. Now, you heard me said participating schools. Let me give you a little bit of information about this. Now, JOSA is designed to have specialized schools to help our clientels, because that way you recognize that they are more focus driven and in the area they're specializing in. So the student will benefit more from such an approach. They own their own institutions, and so they will do the best that they can in order to ensure that their clientele rate increases. So the idea is to ensure that every student of the academy does well at their exams. Of course, we offer tutoring as well. Each institution that participates with JOSA also offer tutoring to individual students. And we're now doing some reconstruction on our website. So shortly you will see the new setup and make it more easier for you to navigate and to enroll into various programs or courses that you need to enroll or be a part of. All right, so without any further ado, I'm going to ask you to share the link with a friend or family that you know will be doing exams and click on the subscribe button, of course, so you can know whenever we're going live with any subject area that we are sharing with you. All right. So just be patient, relax on a Sunday morning. Persons might still be having breakfast, persons might not be out of bed, some person might be at church. But when you see this recording, then you'll know that mathematics with CDP Lazarus Services on the Jokes Online Academy is live at 9 a.m. Caribbean time there and 10 a.m. Eastern. All right. So let us go with, so first I want to take it through, this paper here. All right, so let us go through this paper. And from time to time, I'll be changing up my screen so that I can open my whiteboard to show you what to do. All right, so let's go. All right, so the first question, it's a simple question, being tested in here being tested in computation, you know. And of course, you know that when they ask you, it says the question says the number 3.14063 written correct to 3 decimal places is. Now, this question is testing your ability to write a particular number a particular way. This links itself to giving an estimate, right? It links itself to giving an estimate. Now, let us look at the answer for this question first of all, and then we can look at um, in depth. Now, see, it is prepared to communicate using numbers. And we use numbers in everything on a daily basis. Even now, as you look at the live, you'll see how long I've been going live for. So we use numbers to indicate, to measure. We measure a lot of things. We describe the quantity of what we measure, right? So let's go through it. So the number, now when you're writing a number to 3 decimal places, now if you notice, here's a decimal point right here. Decimal point is here. And each digit away from the decimal point represents a position or a place. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the number is given to 5 decimal places, but they're now asking us now to rewrite this same number that is given 5 decimal places to 3 decimal places. So now you're going to be paying attention to the digit in the third decimal place. In this case, it is the numeral 0. But you also have to pay attention to the number that is beside it. And besides is the number 6. Now, why do we need to pay close attention to that number? Simple. That number, that number itself, if it's equal to 5 or greater than 5, well, that's it. That is actually the conventional or what we all agree to, right? So if the number is equal to 5 or greater than 5, they're going to add 1 that is greater than 5, which is 6 in this case. Therefore, we're going to add 1 to it. So therefore, a simple response, the answer therefore is B, right? That is the answer is B. Now, one advice I would give to students is that, hey, one advice I'll give to my students is that you would need to, yeah, advice I'd give to you guys is that you would need to, let's say you're watching the recording after the lesson. I would tell you to pause the video, get your textbook, practice writing numbers to various decimal places, get it. Then you come back to the video. And this is how you use videos. A lot of persons don't know how. Right? So the answer therefore is number 2. The number 2 is still in decimals. It's asking us, it says if 4.3 times 0.37 is equal to 1.591, then 0.43 times 370 is. Now, if you notice now, what they did, if you notice what they did, you gotta come in doing things, you have to All right, I do apologize for that a while ago. Do apologize for that because my internet went. But to God be the glory, we can still continue from where we left off. Technology is powerful, isn't it? All right, so I was saying before, you have to pay close attention, keen attention to these type of questions. It's very important to pay keen attention to it. All right. Now, so we're at number 2. We're now at number 2. So if you notice, and you can zoom in, and good morning to the person who's currently viewing. Currently viewing, good morning to you. It would be nice if you share the link with someone as well, and you could leave a comment as well. All right. So it says 4.3 times 0.37. If you notice something here, that they did something here, the 4.3 was now changed to 0.43. So obviously they did something good. They did something to this. Now, if you're going to be multiplying, so they divided the 4.3 by 10, but they multiplied the 0.37 by 100. So the question then is, what should we do with the response in order to get the answer in this case? Now, naturally, the answer then will be written into 2 decimal places. It'll be written into 2. As a matter of fact, they multiplied by 1,000, actually. So the answer then would be written into two decimal places. And why? Because this number here is already in 2 decimal places. Before, it was in 3 decimal places, and how we know, we count 1, 2, 3. So the 3 here is counted as 1 decimal place. Then this 3 and the 7 as 2 more decimal places. Hence, you have 3 decimal places. You put the answer. So one technique that teachers will have taught you as students is that you need to remove the decimal point and multiply as ordinary. Then now when you get that whole number answer, you're going to now count the number of decimal places and writing from the right of the number to the left and placing the decimal point where it should be. But in this case, they use 2 decimal places, so the same number would have been written using 2 decimal place instead of 3 this time around. So what I would want you to do then, just to prove what I'm saying to be true, you get to your calculator and you multiply 0.43 times 370, and you'll see that now they would have moved the decimal point now 2 spaces back. So it's now 159.1, right? So this C would be the answer. All right. So this is divided by 10, and so they move it 2 spaces back. So you're multiplying. So what you're doing, you're multiplying the current answer right here by 100. And how we get by 100 is that this 10 would divide through this 1,000 to get 100. So therefore, this number will be multiplied by 100, and therefore the decimal point will move 2 spaces to its right. All right, so let's just continue. So you basically saw exactly how that was done. All right, let's move on from here. Let's move on from here. All right, so now we're going to go to question number 3 now. Now, this is again computation as we continue. They are saying 5 and 2/5. What's the sum? They're asking a question. What is the sum of 5 and 2/5 plus 4 and 3/7? Now, naturally, if you were to do this using a practical way, and that's how we teach at Jokes Online Academy, we don't teach the theoretical way. We tend to more emphasize helping our learners to become independent learners and not dependent learners. So we help them to show them ways in which they can learn something or things being easier for them to actually learn and do well. So if you're doing the practical way, let's say you had 5 and 2/5 of something and 4 and 3/7 of maybe the same thing, then naturally you want to add the whole numbers first. So naturally the whole numbers are 5 and 4, and therefore 9 would be the whole number. But now you're now being asked to find the sum of the two fractional parts, the 2/5 and the 3/7. Now, you'd have normally been taught to find the lowest common multiple of the denominators, which is the 5 and 7 in this case. But to be honest with you, I don't really encourage my students to do that. But because we're doing multiple choice, really, you clearly see that the denominator that they're using is 35. And therefore, how do we use this multiple choice question to help us? So, all right, it's obviously how they got the 35 is to multiply 5 times 7. So what they're doing is find a common multiple of which both 5 and 7 can go into. And I would more encourage my students to use what we call equivalent fractions, right? So we know that 9 is already the denominator. So we're going to know, find out how much times can 5 go into 35. In this case, it would have been what? 7. So you say 7 times 2 is 14 over 35 because we're making it equivalent fraction. Then, of course, now 7 into 35 goes 5 times, and 5 times 3 is 15. Therefore, it's 15 over 35. Now you can add the numerators, and it's now 29. So the answer there is D. So if you had chosen D for your answer, then of course you would have been correct, right? So let's go for question number 4 now. So we're going to go for question number 4. All right, let's go for question number 4. Right. So now we're going to go for question number 4. And so we're at number 3. So now we're going to go to question number 4 right now. Still in computation, right? Now, for question number 4, they told us that they're asking us to write written correct to two significant figures, 18.96. Or let me read it a different way. Written correct to two significant figures, the product of 18.96 and 2.03 is. Now, so in this case, we're going to be multiplying both numbers. And let's see how this is done. So the first thing you have to do is to multiply everything first. So therefore, you'd have 18.96, and I normally tell you to remove the decimal points, right? Multiply by 203. Good. Now, sorry. So you're going to be adding this 3 times, eh? Adding this 3 times. So therefore, 896 plus 1896. And adding it 3 times the same as multiplying it 3 times. So I'll show you a different method to use when you're multiplying. So we're going to add them. Good. Now, 3 sixes, of course, is 18. You'll take 1/10. 3 nines, 27. And the 1, 28. So carry the 2. 3 is 24 and the 2, 26. Carry the 2. And then 3 ones, 3 and 2, 5. So 3 times this amount already gives us 5,688. All right. So that's already good. No. All right. So 0 times everything is 0. So that's not going to work right here. But now we had 200. So multiplying 1896 by 200. But we could multiply it by the 2, then add the 2 zeros to it. So we could therefore add 1896 and 1896. So 6 and 6, 12. 9 and 9, 18 and 1, 19. And then 17. Then 3, 37, 92. Then we're going to add 2 zeros to it. because it's 200, eh? All right. And then this would be it. So now you'll be adding that figure to this number here. Then you have 2, 9, 3, and 7. So we add them. So we have 8 here, 8 here, 6 and 2, 12. And then we have 15 here. Then I have 1, 8, 38. And it's 4 decimal places. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. So we now have 38.5. So we're now asked to write this into significant figures. Two significant figures. The entire thing to two significant figures, which would leave us at 30, well, two significant figures would leave us at, well, I'll tell you. So remember now we have 38.5288. So we need to have it at two significant figures. All right. Now what should that answer be? Two significant figures. All right, let's look at that. So remember 18.96 times 2.03. Oh, so we made a little mistake here. This should not be, yeah, a little mistake was made right here. This should be 8 and this one should not come over. So this will be 14. 14 instead. And we'll have the one here. Go to 38.4. 38.488. So let's make the corrections right here. We made a little error. So let's make the correction quickly. The error was right here. I know we do make mistakes from time to time, right? So here it is. What it's important to correct it. So we have 8. We have 8. 8 again. And then 9 and 5, 14. Add the 1 here. So the one's already added there. So this is 8 again. And 38. And the 4 decimal places I told you before will be right here. So then now the question is, we must write it into two significant figures. So it would have been equal to 38 would have been the answer because those are the first two significant figure and there's no need to add 1 because 4 is less than 5. So B would be the answer in this case. All right. Let us proceed further. All right, let's proceed further. Let's move to question number 5 now. If $350 is shared in the ratio 2 to 5, the smaller share is. If $350 is shared in the ratio 2 to 5, the smaller share is. All right. Now, some persons may struggle with ratio, right? Some persons struggles with ratio. And let us now look at this. As I said before, some persons do struggle with ratio. Now, if $350 is shared in the ratio 2 to 5, the smaller share is. So if $350 is shared in the ratio 2 to 5, the smaller share is. Now, if you notice that both these numbers represents two shares. So one shared amount is 2 parts. Another shared amount is 5 parts. So in total, we have 7 parts. Now, they want you to know, they're asking us now, how much of that $350 is the smaller share? Now, the 2 indicates the smaller share, but the total number of parts, equal parts, is 7. So therefore, we have to divide the total amount by 7 to find out what's the value of one part. So, of course, 35 divided by $350 divided by 7 would give us $50. So 7 5 is 35, eh? So therefore, the smaller part will be 2 times one part, which is $100 in this case. Easy? Very easy, isn't it? All right, so now we're going to move on from here. All right, let's move on. Question number 6. In a school, the ratio of the number of pupils to the number of teachers is 20 to 1. If the number of pupils is 840, how many teachers are there? So what we're saying there are 20 students in a class to one teacher. Now, and if the total number of pupils is 840. Now, if you notice, the 840 has nothing to do with the number of teachers, but only the population of the number of students. So it doesn't make sense you add the ratio in this case. Adding the ratio will not help you in this case, right? So the question is, what is it that you want to do? Simple divide the total number of students that we have by the quantity of students in each class. So therefore, it will be 840. 840 divided by 20. There we go. So 2 into 84 will give us 42. So there are 42 teachers. All right. 42 teachers in total. Okay. All right. So there we go. All right. So we're going to go. So I've covered our computation questions. And then we now have our going into our, let's continue rather. Question 7. So we're going to divide this sessions on paper 1 into 6 different parts or so. So next part will be another 10 questions. And then we will, in our next session, next week, Sunday, we'll see if we can double the 10 and make it 20, God's willing. All right. So we'll be doing 10 questions this morning. So it says, if 3n is an odd number, it's an odd number. It means that the product of 3 times n is an odd number. Which of the following is an even number? Well, simple experiment. Simple experiment. We know that even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, and you go along. And there are difference of 2 consecutively. Where odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, they're also a difference of 2, if you notice that. But the question is now, the difference between the odd number and the even number is a difference of 1. So they're saying now, which of the following is an even number? It will be 3n minus 1. Because if our odd number was, say, 7, then the even number that comes after that would have been 8. So we have to know, think about it. Let's reason it out. Let's reason it out. No, if 3 is an odd number, which of the following is an even number? Now, let's say the odd number was 3, then, and the even number was 4. If this is 3n, they would have to be adding, well, more likely to get the odd number. If the odd number was before, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So now the even number comes, the odd number comes before the odd number. Let's look at it. 1 before 2, 3 before 4, 5 before 6. So the odd number comes before the even number. So naturally, you're going to be having a difference of 1. Difference of 1. So the answer would be A in this case. All right? A in this case. So let's now move on to question number 8. What is the highest common factor of the set of numbers? What is the highest common factor of the set of numbers? 54, 72, 90. What's the highest common factor of the set of numbers? Highest common factor. Obviously, D and C are out of it. So the question is then, is each of these numbers divisible by 18? And then if that's the answer, then and question 8 is an easy 1, 2, 3, right? So let's see if it's each of them is divisible by 18. So 54 divided by 18 exists. 72, is it divisible by 18? Exists. And is 90 divisible by 18? Exists. So the answer is B. The answer for this one is naturally B. All right. So now we're going to move on to question number 9. It says that 99 times 101 has the same value as. Okay. Well, you could break this down by multiplying 99 by 100 and also adding that to 99 times 1. So the answer would be C in this case as well. 99 times 100 plus 99 times 1 is the same value. Okay, same value. So now we'll move to our final question for the session. Question number 10. The first three common multiples of 3, 4, and 6 are what? The first three common multiples. In other words, multiples are what? The multiple of 3. The multiple of 3 would have been 6 would start off that all of them can go in, but it would more be 12, 24, and 36. That is a common multiple 2, 3, 4, and 6. So the answer here is D. Now, you might want to find out how do we find common multiples of a number. So, for example, 3 times 1 is equal to 3. Good. 3 times 2 is equal to 6. 3 times 3 is equal to 9. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. Now, the numbers on this side are the multiples of 3. And you can do the same for 4, and the number on this side, multiples of 4. And the same for 6, the multiples of 6. You look now in the answer to find out which are the first three common ones. In other words, there are other common multiples, but they're asking you for the first three. So thank you for viewing this another session in mathematics with JOSA Online Academy, host conducted by yours truly, Ronnie Bernard, teacher of CDP Library Services. Now, please bear in mind that we only did 10 questions today, and those are 10 easy questions. So next week, we'll be getting to the more difficult questions. So I'm encouraging you to, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe so that you'll know when we're returning to the next live. So we will be doing the next paper. We will be doing 20 questions in our next session to cover half of the paper, which will carry us into other concepts, probably more difficult and challenging questions for you. But in the meantime, you can go in the description and you can follow the instructions so you can give us a topic that you may need additional assistance in preparation for your exam. And of course, the clock is ticking, gentle people. So the earlier you send in these submissions for the topics that you would like to get help with, then of course, I'm willing to assist you with these topics. So go ahead and of course, go to the website, send us a message, or you could leave us a comment in this video, and we'll give it and say the topics that you need assistance with. And of course, I will indeed, in my presentation for next week, assist you with those topics. So, peace out. All the best for this week. Take care and look forward into meeting with you next week, Sunday, God's willing. So I'm going to ask you, please, if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe now. Share the link, share the channel with a friend or family that you know will be doing exams. All right? Take care. Walk good.